or juice, then you can, but the teachers prefer the water. Let's see, as far as classroom birthdays.
Bring the spoons and forks.
Okay, I'm sorry. Also remember to bring, when they're staying for lunch especially, but also if you send a snack that needs forks, utensils, please send those in as well. If you need a paper plate, if you need forks or spoons or napkins or anything at that point, please send them in, with that, with your child's lunch. Because Mrs. Kettlewood gets a lot of children coming down saying, I need a fork, I need a spoon, and she's really busy at lunchtime, so it'd be really helpful if you send them all in. As far as classroom birthdays, bring enough snack for the whole class at that point, and also we try to bring a few extra because they can bring it to Mr. Fry, and they can bring it to me, and they can bring it to Mrs. Kettlewood. They like to share it with some of the teachers that aren't in the classroom at that point. We don't interrupt a classroom, but like Mr. Fry and I, Mrs. Kettlewood, we all have treasure chest boxes in our office. So we like to make it special for them, so when they bring us a cupcake or whatever their birthday is, we give them a little treat. And so they like coming around, and it gives us a chance to be with their children as well. On their birthdays, they do have to wear regular dress. There's only a few times in the year that they can actually dress down, and we will let you know when that happens. So on their birthday, even though it's a very special day, they still have to wear uniforms. One thing I do want to cover, last year we had a lot of problems with toys. A lot of the children bought toys and they lost their toys or somebody else took their toys. And we ask that you don't let your child bring any toys to school at all, except when the teacher tells you it's show and tell day, and she will say like Wednesday is our show and tell day, Friday is our show and tell day. Some of them don't even do it until the last half of the year. So please, even if you have to check their book bags in the morning, if they have a tendency to bring toys to school, please do that for us, because a lot of them, somebody else sees it and they take it, and so it's really tempting for another child that sees a car that your son has and they really want it, and they just take it. And so we don't want that happening. And then a lot of parents feel embarrassed because they bring it back because they know it's not their child's. So please just don't allow them to bring any toys to school except on show and tell day. Mrs. Greaves, would you be able to bring my bag up? I left it there when For our dress code as well, we prefer sneakers for our or tennis shoes for our little ones, and we do ask, if at all possible, that they be Velcro. We tie tons and tons of shoes each day. Unless your child is able to tie their own shoe, we ask that you do Velcro if that's at all possible. As far as our dress code, our handbook says boys have to wear a belt, but they don't. If you can find elastic waist pants, that's much better than belts and buckles and everything else. It's hard for our little boys to get them back up again. So if you can find elastic waist, that just allows them to be able to pull them back up again. The girls can, I covered all of this when I met with you, but the girls can wear white, blue, black stockings or socks. No hearts, no stripes, no Valentines, just black, blue, or white stockings and socks. Let's see. We do keep our classroom very warm. A lot of times, even when it's 90 degrees out, we have little ones that are coming with long sleeves and sweaters and stockings, and they're very hot. They'll say, Mrs. Bean, I'm hot, especially when we're outside and it's 85, 90 degrees outside. So please realize that we keep our classrooms very warm. So if you would just put enough on that layers that they can just take them off when they're hot. Also, when you're doing their clothes, like their sweaters and so forth, please label the inside of them with their names. I end up with tons and tons of sweaters each, and I want to be able to give them back to the right person. We find them in the gym, we find them on the playground, I'm leaving, and I find them out in the playground out there. So we do want to be able to give them back to you. Also, I did cover this when we met, but all 3 and 4-year-olds have to have one of these bags. This is a change of clothes in case your child ever has an accident. We don't want them to have an accident, but we know accidents are going to happen when you're dealing with 2 or 3 and 4-year-olds. So in this bag, I want you to put a complete change of uniform with it. It does need to be a uniform. We don't want to single them out and for them to look different. If they have a different outfit on, everyone's going to know that they had an accident, and we don't want that to happen. So we ask for a complete change of clothes down to underpanties, undershirts, a shirt, dress, or pants, socks, even a little pair of old shoes that they have, because most of the time when our little ones, especially our boys, have an accident, a lot of times it's right in front of the toilet because they've waited too long, they play too long, and they can't do it fast enough. Or they get it on their clothes when they're trying to go. And so we do ask for a complete change of clothes. And if we send it to you, we ask that you wash it that night and send it immediately back to us the next day. So that if another accident happens, we do have their change. Let's see. I think that's everything. Okay? Thank you so much.
And that is important, that full change of clothes, including shoes, and getting it right back to us the next day. If we send it home, we send it with a little slip. What is that, like a bright green slip that we have that lets you know your child had an accident? You will just want to get that back to us in case it happens 2 days in a row. We never want to think that's going to happen, but times it does. I brought in a visual aid and then I forgot to mention it. This is what we put up at the hallway at 8:20. If you see this sign in front of the hallway, that means even if we'll normally be standing near it. But if you come in, like your child has a doctor's appointment maybe and comes in at like 9:15, you may see this stop sign there in front of the hallway and we may not be right beside it. You just need to go to our school office and either Mrs. Kettlewood will take your child down or she'll get one of us. Mrs. Mean or I or one of the aides will walk your child down. We don't want you to go to the classroom. If you see the sign, that means no more parents in the hallway at that point. When we get to the time, we spin it back around, then there's no stop sign. See, magic. Then you know it's okay to go by. Did you need to say something else? Yes.
Regarding your child's nap time, if they're staying for extended session, it was unlisted, I didn't cover it. That if they're going to be staying, they do need a blanket.
That's on mine. It's still coming. It's still coming. She's getting ahead of me. You can say it in a second. If I forget to say it, you can. I was just going to say I'm going to talk about extended session for a minute. She keeps me honest, though, when I do mess up. Let's talk about extended session. How about that? A few things for extended session. First of all, we do ask if your child is staying beyond 11:45 that they send a coloring book with them. We'll provide the crayons, but it's a good opportunity. There'll be some downtime in there while we're changing from one thing to another. If you noticed on the school supply list, it's included on there to bring a coloring book. Find something they like. That's one of the reasons we don't pick that for your child, because every child has different things. We have plenty of crayons in this building, but send a coloring book for them. Do dress them for outside. We will go outside as much as we can because, in the winter we can't. So this is, you know how cold it is here. So as much as we can, we will go outside. Mrs. Mean said the point about layering. That's very important. Layer your child, but so they can take it off. They're running around. They may start to get warm. Have something that they can take off, but we will go outside as much as we can. I already mentioned that you'll have to show ID until we get to know you. And if you have a friend or neighbor that comes in, we'll ask them to show ID and be sure they're on the pickup list as well. We will not sign your child out until you actually leave the playground or the gym area. Here's what, at times we have this, that your child is having so much fun they don't want to leave. And so, just let me play 10 more minutes, Mom. Let me play 10 more minutes. Well, the problem with that is we still have to supervise them even if you're there. So we don't sign them out until you actually leave with your child. So don't think, I came at 12:30, but you billed me till 12:45. Well, that's because the child kept playing until that time. So please keep that in mind. And once you sign your child out, though, and you leave, you are assuming responsibility. Please hold their hand in the parking lot, please. We want them to be safe. Even if you're just going a short distance, like from the playground to your parking spot, hold their hands. We see some scary things every year, but it is your responsibility once you take them away from us here. We do ask that when you leave, if it's during the school day, that you not use our playground equipment. And the reason for that, it's nothing that we're meanies, that we don't want you to use the playground. It's simply that in nice weather, the bigger kids are coming out. And they're probably on their way to use this playground because they often come out right after lunchtime and they play on this playground. And I've seen some little guys here. You know what a sixth grader could do to your little guy if they ran into each other? It would be interesting. So we don't want to have like sixth graders and 4-year-olds running into each other. So we just ask, I know the playground, it may look, listen, if nobody is there and you want to play on it for a couple minutes, that's fine. But as soon as our other classes come out, please take your children. It's just not safe to be out there at that time. All right, now nap time. If your child is staying till about 1:30, we put the children down for a nap and they sleep until about 2:40. Each child who stays will have a cot that is going to be their cot throughout the year. We do clean those, of course, very regularly, keep them safe and replace them when necessary and all that, but there will be a cot. They're usually numbered, and our teachers have a number that goes with each child that they use. You need to bring a blanket in for them for extended session nap. Now, the best thing, I should have brought a visual aid for this, Mrs. Mean, but the best thing to do is a blanket. What we like to have them do is lay across the blanket and then bring the blanket over the top of them if they get a little cool. Just one single blanket that does that. We ask that you do not send a pillow in. It's an extra thing that will get pushed off. It will cause problems to have a pillow. Now, if we had this come up last year, if there is a child that for a different, like a medical reason or whatever, really needs to have their head up, that you find one of those blankets that has kind of in a one piece, that has like a built-in pillow on it, but it's still all one piece. So that they can have their head up a little bit if they need it, but then they can just be wrapped over them. A separate pillow just won't work with us. It'll fall off. The teachers will be going around to get it and picking it back up. It'll fall on the floor, which we really don't want their stuff to be on the floor in the classrooms. So we ask you don't send a pillow. We also ask you don't use sleeping bags. Sleeping bags are too big, and we need to wrap everything up every day, and we teach class in that same room the next day. If there are 20 sleeping bags in that room, it would take up the whole room. Sleeping bags are too big, and they don't need that much. As Mrs. Mean said, our classrooms, we keep them warm, so they don't need that much warmth. They just need a simple blanket. They will sleep fine on it for that little over an hour. It's only about an hour that they nap. Let's see. We will talk more about hot lunches. We'll have an information sheet. We'll go out next week. But those of you who are staying, there are no hot lunches next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday provided. If you're staying through lunchtime, you do need to provide a lunch each of those 3 days. We will get information out to you, though, about our lunch program. We partner with several area restaurants, including Wendy's, Subway, Vintage Pizza, some things like that, because we don't have a kitchen that we can really cook in here. We can warm foods, but we can't cook. You know, I should mention along those lines, Mrs. Mean, every year we get some requests to microwave food. We can't do that. Please just send it warm in a thermos. Again, look at the size of school we have. Even if we had like a whole bank of microwaves, we would never get everything ready in time. So don't ask us to microwave food, including for your snack. We can't do that. If it needs to be warm, put it in a thermos. All right, did I get everything, Mrs. Mean, for extended session? Okay, I got everything. All right, I'm going to ask in a minute for the teachers to go ahead and step out to the hallway so they can get ready out there. Each teacher you've probably seen has bins available if you brought classroom supplies. We also ask, if you haven't already done so, that when I dismiss you in a minute, that you see your child's teacher to get a welcome packet. And again, get one for your child's teacher. That's important, not from another teacher. We only have enough for the families that are here. But that packet has lots of good information about contacting your child's teacher as well. One other thing is available. This may be really helpful for that spare set of clothes Mrs. Mean was talking about. At the end of every school year, we ask families, if you have some used uniforms that are still in good shape, send them back in. We want to keep them in use. In our lunchroom, which is in our gym, just ask one of the teachers, Mrs. Rourke or Mrs. Mean, one of the teachers, they'll show you where it is. Down in our gym, we have tables set up with those clothes on them. Even if the clothes are a little beat up, it might make a great thing to put in that gallon bag that you have to have a second set of uniform. Go down there, you are welcome to it. There's no charge for it. We just ask, take what you can use. Don't try to take everything in the room. I don't think any of you will need a men's extra large polo shirt in here. I don't see any of the students that are that size. So take a look and use what you can, but it's free for you to take. It's less we have to pack back up if you take it, because I've got to pack everything up on Friday and put it back up in the storage room. So it'd be just as easy. If there's something down there that you can be helped by, stop by and get it. And again, we will show you where that is. Please keep your children with you. The classrooms are not open. Please do not go down to them. Our teachers, I told somebody beforehand, today was our first day that teachers have reported. They are still working in their classrooms, getting them ready. So they're not ready yet. Just stay up at this end of the hallway. There's no reason to go down to where the classrooms are. The class lists are posted in the hallway. This is an opportunity, we say, for a quick visit with your child's teacher. If you have a special need where you need to have more discussion with them, set up an appointment. They'll be happy to do that with you. But you know what? Most of them have been here since at least 8:30, if not earlier today. It's been a long day. Don't make them still stay till 9 o'clock talking to you. Set up an appointment if you need it, and we'll be happy to help that. We are going to try to get out of here in about 20 minutes or so, about 10 after or so. We'll try to close the building down and get everybody out of here. Those of you who came in late, we are making a recording of this available. I will email out a link to it on YouTube. Please take the time to watch what you missed. There were some important things at the beginning. So those of you who got here late, we'll make that available to you. If you have any other questions I can answer, please come up and talk to me. Otherwise, you are dismissed out to the hallway for your teachers. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you.